There was this commercial that my dad told me about that he thought reminded him of me. It's this like progressive commercial, and basically the whole thing is like there's this young kid with like arm sleeve, like he's like the coolest kid ever, and he pulls up to this like older guy, and the older guy is like, what are you doing? And it turns out that the kid is the younger version of the older guy, so he's like the inner child of this older guy, and he's like, get into the car, and they're like driving like crazy, and he's like, slow down, and the kid's just having a bunch of fun, whatever. And it's pretty obvious that the inner child, like the kid, is so much cooler than the older version of himself. And my dad sent it to me, and he's like, I feel like this explains most of what you do. If I'm interested in something, then I will do that thing. That has been my whole life. Nobody can really stop me. Maybe it's not even the smartest thing to do, but if it's something that interests me in terms of like a hobby or just something that I want to pursue, then I'll do it. And my dad calls that kind of, with that behavior in me, as like following my inner child. I didn't really realize that. I have ADHD, so I'm pretty interest-led, and that's kind of how I think of it. And I never really thought of it as like a cool thing or like a good thing. But ever since like that conversation about the commercial, I've kind of been like, maybe that is my biggest strength, is that I follow my inner child no matter what anybody says. What are we about to do, Kyle?
Oh, we're about to go bowl. I am bowling a 300.
Yo, show us the stance. Show us the stance you're about to hit. Oh, that's about to be us. I either have really good days or really bad days.
Today's gonna be a good day.
Today better be a good day.
Maybe.
Here we go.
Let's see it, Kyle. No.
Oh,
Sorry.
She's looking for the
Eight or
smallest
something,
ball.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, you got that. Let's see it.
I like the light one.
Oh, it's going. Oh, it's turning. Oh my God. Wow. Look at that. That was crazy. She got
Ow, my nails.
2 pins left.
My nails. Oh, I have to
No, here we go.
I can't do a spare, bro.
Nah, you got it.
Done. Like,
Keep forward the line stuff.
Womp womp.
whoa. Wait. Whoa. Ooh. Her face to all of our profiles. I did. Strategy. It's part of the strategy. I'm getting.
You only need one. It didn't hit a pin.
I got really nervous.
What do you have to say about your performance?
That was really bad. I thought I was gonna win this game, kind of. Welcome to mocktail review, because we don't need alcohol. Have fun. Just sugar. Pine cookie dough. Yes. Not real. Delicious. I just want to get this cover off.
Anjali vlogs.
Recap of last game. I lost very badly. I was on my up, and I just went straight back down. Kyle has been getting strike after strike after strike. I finished my mocktail. Life is bleak. I really wanted to win.
What happened?
I really wanted to win.
It's okay. It's okay.
I have no resentment against Kyle whatsoever.
We'll not be crying in the closet later
We'll
tonight.
be crying.
Not.
Don't worry. Usually it doesn't feel like I'm doing the right thing. My sophomore year, I started a clothing brand just because I really wanted to start a clothing brand and see what that was like. Or I started posting on Instagram and I grew the account just because I wanted to see what that was like. That was before it was like cool to be a creator, and it was kind of like a stupid thing to do. But I did it anyway, just because I was interested in it. And growing up, that's like what I've done, is just like whatever I was interested in, even if people didn't really think it was cool or right, I did it anyways, just because doing things that I'm interested in as somebody with ADHD is kind of, it's like the only thing I can do. It's not like I am doing it knowing that, oh, well, this is what I really want to do and it's important to follow your own gut, so I'm going to do it. It was like, I literally can only do what I'm interested in. I feel like going into adulthood, I've kind of lost that. I have lost that urge to follow my curiosity. Even with creating, everything needs to have finality. I need a job. What is the smart decision versus what is the interest-led decision are now two different paths. It's hard for me to picture a choice where it can be both good for my future and fulfill me at the same time. I'm getting a lot of people who tell me that I should do what I don't like now for like the next 20 years in terms of career choice and make a bunch of money so that I can go do the thing that I'm really interested in, which I don't really know what that is right now. Can't help but feel Like, my brain isn't designed for that, and that makes me sound lazy and naive. It really comes down to, I need to be interested in something before I can do it and stick with it long term. I don't have this finite source of willpower, it feels like. All of the systems I've used in my life to like organize and get myself to do things that has turned my life around have come from that principle of like, okay, I know that I can't force myself to do something. Let me either change my perspective on it or design a system around it that will engage the right parts of my brain. The video with my assignment tracker made urgency for myself by having a days left column that changes color and having a little tab that says done, in progress, not started. So it talked to the part of my brain that needed urgency. And as I grow up, I feel the need to do that with everything I do. I have to break down things to make them either interesting or give them some sort of urgency so that I'm forced to do them. And I'm really scared that the career that I choose, I'm going to give in to what everybody else says, do something because other people are telling me to do it and that it's the safe option versus what my brain really wants, which is amusement. It wants stimulation. It wants to be passionate about whatever I'm doing. I know how weird and naive that sounds to everybody else. And that is kind of what I'm struggling with. Do I take this path of like, okay, let me get my foot in somewhere else, work for a couple years, maybe I hate it, maybe I don't, and then find something that I like? Or do I just skip all of that and go straight to finding something that I'm really good at and feel interested in? I have one more semester of school. I am really terrified for post-grad life. I'm not excited, which is kind of sad. I don't think I've peaked in college. I didn't have like this out of this world crazy amazing college experience, but I'm gonna lose touch with everyone I know. I'm scared of working a job I hate for the rest of my life and giving up on the things that I like now just because I won't have the energy for them. I've done a couple of internships in the past and like my life was just that internship and I just didn't have time for myself anymore, and I'm really scared of that being the rest of my life. I kind of stopped posting on Instagram for a bit after I ran my business in the summer because I just burnt out like crazy. I went recently to this creator meetup and it really ignited something in me that's like, content is something I can talk about all day, every day, feel good about my opinion, feel confident in what I'm saying to people. And that's what I was doing like the whole time. Like that's all I was talking about, just content. Here's what I think you should do. What do you think I should do? Like I could just talk about it all day. And that was my business. So I was teaching people how to grow and sell on social media. And we made 10K in the first 3 months, which is amazing, but I didn't have the boundary between business and normal life, and I just burnt out so badly. And I'm really scared of it going that badly again. I just turned into a job of me trying to get people to post every single day with the message of, if you don't post, I can't help you. And by the end, you know, I didn't really make the impact that I thought I was setting out to do. So I'm at this question of like, do I create things to make cool stuff, or do I do that and run a business teaching people how to sell, which is not necessarily the same thing? I don't know what that answer is. And I think deep down, I just want to go and just do the thing that people don't expect me to do, which is to go like full time with it and not take the safe option. And the other part of me is like, well, I've grown up privileged. I don't know what it's like to be at a point where money is constantly on my mind. I've been lucky enough. So it feels privileged to like say that I want to do something that I like doing. It feels privileged. I watch like Professor G and he says, do something that sounds so unsexy, so unromantic. You will have enough money to go and do things you actually want to do instead of being this, you know, starving artist, which seems to be the only other option. And now you're stuck working a dead end and you hate what you're doing and now you have no money. I grew up watching my parents go through like the recession, like 2008 recession. I watched, you know, in the tech industry, like as my dad gets older, he has to work harder and harder to stay in that kind of industry. And I've seen my parents work so hard since I was so little. Part of me is like, yeah, I do want to go out and make just a bunch of money, buy my parents a house one day, like retire them, do what I need to do. And then the other part of me is like, I know I can't have my cake and eat it too, unless I'm really lucky. Or at least not this early in my life, have my cake and eat it too, in terms of work a job that I mildly enjoy working. And I talk to my friends who are in post-grad life, and they're kind of in the same boat. It's just like, oh man, like I don't have a life anymore. It just brings up the question of like, why did I stop doing things just because I liked doing them? Because now every single time I think about doing something, all of this new baggage is appearing of like, well, what do people think? And what if it fails? Like your business kind of failed. all of this stuff that has never ever gone through my mind before when I was doing things. Before, I would want to do something and I would just do it. It's embarrassing almost to have this hesitation to do cool things, because that's made up a large part of my identity. Is like, I'm the girl who will, I want to do something, I'm just going to go and do it, and I don't care what anyone says. And now it's just adulthood, and you know, you're gonna have to pay your rent soon. Like, once you stop living with your parents, you know, that's your life, and do you really want to regret it? And I don't want to regret it. I don't know, I just look at YouTube and all I watch now are like little, like long documentaries, and I feel like nobody's really making anything cool right now. Like, nobody's making something that I really connect to anymore like I used to on YouTube. Actually, except for Sneeko. So I was a big fan of Sneeko, and then he went on like his whole like Andrew Tate misogyny route, and I stopped watching him. And now he started posting daily on X, and he calls it Project X. And he made this video, and he was just like, just make cool stuff. Just stop worrying about all this, just make cool stuff. I'm making this video because I want to make my younger self proud in terms of just making stuff that I find cool and not caring about what other people think. I feel like if I just kept posting consistently like I used to, I could have been at like 50K right now, like easily, like if I just kept making videos every week, but it wasn't sustainable at the time. Now I really feel like I have reason. It's not even about building a personal brand anymore or growing and growing. It's just like, I just have this need in me right now while I'm going through this transition to adulthood I need to have a creative outlet to just make cool stuff. I won't be posting every single day like Sneeko does in Project X. I really think you should go check it out. He's banned on YouTube and like everything, but he posts every single day, a video every single day on X, and I look forward to them. But I do want to just post and forget. I just want to make cool stuff and forget. So this is kind of my promise to myself, as somebody who teaches other people how to grow stuff online. I'm gonna abandon all strategy because I'm not doing this to make me happy. I'm doing it because I want to help who my younger self was. And there's so many of younger me's online who maybe need to hear what I'm thinking or need to hear the advice I'm giving, and maybe they don't, and that's fine. But there's a lack of like power right now. I feel powerless. I feel nothing I really do makes an impact anymore. And that kind of made me stop posting YouTube, because I made excuses, and I took a break for social media for the first time in 4 years. I've never done that before, ever. For more than 11 days, I think, was my longest break. And I finally took a break for like a month and a half, and it was brutal. Like, I'm still kind of in that break, but it made me realize why I'm posting. And it's not just to do it because I'm afraid of losing momentum and then everybody's gonna unfollow me and this and that. It's mostly because I just need to make cool stuff. I just have this need in me to make stuff. I am a maker. That is somewhat like relieving to know. There's a reason for this. It's not just, I want people to think of me as important and blah, blah, blah. Like, even if nobody sees this, I still want to keep making stuff. And if one person sees this, slightly comforted by what I'm saying, has it as background noise during a meal, I don't care. But I feel like I have an obligation to myself to like just keep making cool stuff. And if anyone's watching this, it's kind of in a similar boat in terms of maybe you haven't started posting on YouTube or haven't started posting anywhere and you're afraid of what people think and blah, blah, blah. You're going to see a bunch of videos in your recommended that's like the philosophical reason why you should make a YouTube channel. Here's why YouTube has never been easier. Just ignore all of that and just make stuff that younger you may have needed. I have a responsibility to myself to keep following my inner child, and I think I've realized that through my break I've taken from YouTube, from Instagram, all of this. I just want to make meaningful, cool stuff, and I think YouTube is the way to do that. Just the amount of time I have to put into every single video and the concepts I have to come up with. I think it means a lot more than posting what I've been doing, which is short form. I'll just be posting here. I'm going to post as much as I possibly can. Maybe it'll stop when I go back to school, maybe it won't. I don't know. People are going to see this. Maybe I never get past 10K subscribers. I don't know. But all I know is I have a responsibility to myself right now to just keep making stuff that I find cool, not even other people finding cool, just I like cool. And if somebody sees it and benefits from it, then that's a really cool thing. TLDR, totally lost in my life and my career right now. Realized I have a need to make cool stuff. I'm going to be posting a lot of videos about ADHD. A lot of people have told me that that's what they resonate most with from my channel and from my Instagram. I'll still be posting lifting stuff. But hopefully stuff that is a little bit more helpful, that I hope people will like. That's all. That's my rant session. Thank you for watching. If you watched all the way through, I don't even know if anything I just said makes sense, but I appreciate you, and I hope to keep making cool stuff. And 2025 is going to be the year that I just make cool stuff, no matter what happens. So.